I'm Judea Murray, and here on A Positive Note, we highlight the most heartwarming stories from all around our tri-state that move and inspire us. And that's exactly the vibe that I got from this video we posted on Instagram. Tears. That's all this father could muster as he hugged his little girls for the first time since being hospitalized with the coronavirus in January.
For the first couple of months, there was no contact at all because of the corona protocols. So that's why I was very emotional to see my kids again, because I haven't seen them in close to 3 months. You know, it's only so much FaceTime can do. So, you know, I'm just happy and blessed to be home with my girls. Right?
I don't know about you, but seeing stuff like this helps me get through the day to day. It gives me hope that we'll make it through this together. All eyes on Ossining, where a pretty handy teen is making a huge difference in Westchester County. And thanks to a News 12 Westchester spotlight on him last month, he's been getting so much love for it. Let's check it out.
What started as a simple curiosity,
all of it in,
has turned into Reboot to help hundreds in Westchester County. The brains to it all?
Like this one.
15-year-old Sam Nadel.
Doesn't work here.
Taking old broken computers, fixing them to give to people who need them.
And now it's working.
For free.
There's such a divide between people who do and don't have computers in the pandemic.
We first told you about Sam on March 1st, ending the story with this.
So if you want to help Sam with Reboot, they're always looking for donations.
And you came through. Sam's gotten 25 computers since, and the attention of some local politicians.
Saw the News 12 program.
Ossining Town Councilwoman Elizabeth Feldman knew a group that could use some computers.
Like 30 years ago, I came to this country. We didn't have no research center to help us.
Anna Guzman started Ossining Padres Hispanos to help immigrant families with clothing, a food pantry.
So we offer classes in here.
With classes about citizenship, learning English, and hopefully soon, computer classes.
There is people who has nothing about it, no knowledge about it.
And Sunday, Sam and his brother Joe, who helps with the repairs, delivered 4 computers.
I think there's one more thing in the car.
I'm about to cry because that is a big help.
Out of their dozens of drop-offs,
Thank you.
this was different.
One organization, they're going to help probably hundreds more people, which is great.
Okay, how cool is that? Now, last month, I told you guys all about these 3 trailblazing ladies on Long Island making history as some of the first girls to earn the highest honor in the Boy Scouts of America. They're Eagle Scouts. And it must be something in the air because a group of girls in Fairfield County, Connecticut are officially flying high too. Only 6% of all Boy Scouts ever reached this rank. The Boy Scouts of America began letting girls join in 2018, just 3 years later, and these girls managed to climb their way to the top of the whole org. Fairfield's Troop 19 say they hope this empowers the next generation.
I hope that this can show you that women can do whatever they set their mind to.
Absolutely. They picked 19 as their troop number, not just because it was founded in 2019, but because of the 19th Amendment, when women finally got the right to vote. Talk about making history. I recently told you all about the first African-American woman to own a beer company in the state of Connecticut. Well, today we're meeting the first woman, period, to own a brewery in New York City. Tara Hankinson founded the Talea Beer Company, first as an option to pick up from the market in 2019, but fast forward to now, and the tap room/cafe opened up in Williamsburg just a few weeks ago. Brewing is a male-dominated industry, but ambitious women like Tara are changing the tide. The majority of her employees are women, something she says wasn't intentional, but makes all of the difference in terms of representation.
When you look around at other breweries across the country, only 2% are run by women. And now that we're here, we hope we can inspire more women to feel like they have representation in beer.
Have you heard the George Eliot quote that goes, "It's never too late to be what you might have been"? I feel like it's so fitting for this next story. A 90-year-old woman from Trumbull, Connecticut just became a published poet, and it's thanks, in part, to her loving children.
I feel that I'm living in the twilight zone. Just me, myself, and my cell phone.
Ann Kern's home can be a bit too peaceful.
Stay at home, keep your closets neat. Instead of that, I eat and eat.
Self-isolation proved isolating.
Like Scarlett O'Hara, tomorrow's another day.
But a lifelong hobby provided salvation.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night if I can't sleep and write a poem.
Anne always scribbled verses, but marriage, family, and work took priority.
This, to us, I think was a big surprise with the amount of poems that she was writing.
When her husband died, there was a void.
And I found I was writing a poem a day. I was writing a poem a day.
The pandemic came, Anne wrote more.
It was like a therapy for her. She was getting out her emotions and her feelings.
Instead of one, I would go to 2 or 3.
Double, triple, that's a big pile of poems.
Yeah, it is. I'll show you the pile. I wrote about President Roosevelt. The Pope visited France. I wrote a poem. Aging. We're Italian Americans.
For Anne's 90th birthday, her children published Poems from the Heart.
I have to give a reading somewhere. We're going to need these books.
This great-grandmother's ready to get out in the world.
And one of my neighbors bought the book and said she reads to her husband every morning.
To share her gift.
And when she gets through the book, she reads it again.
Have you ever had trouble expressing yourself? It's like you know what you want to say, but the words just aren't lining up quite right. And then you hear a song, and it seems to say everything. Well, that's art. Always saying the things that we sometimes can't. And that's why this nonprofit in Brooklyn is helping under-resourced students own their creativity. It's called Art of Me, and it tackles social justice issues through visual art. The co-founder, Cecilia Mejia, wanted kids to be able to share their own stories in a safe space. All of her students know Art of Me is all about understanding differences and bringing awareness. These guys have created films, animations, podcasts, and even a graphic novel together.
The whole root of that, storytelling is really to create an inner core, a strength within them that we hope that it's instilled in them that no matter what it is, as long as their story within is strong, they'll be okay with failure, because we're going to fail more times than we succeed.
To a woman now in Connecticut who knows a thing or two about success in leadership. She took an oath years ago and keeps delivering on that promise. Today, we're shining a spotlight on Pastor Elizabeth Abel.
Reverend is the title, pastor is what I do. Doctors practice medicine, and reverends practice pastoring and gathering and spreading. I'm a U.S. veteran for the United States Air Force, where I served in security forces. I believe it's the young people that have really nudged me to follow my goals, really because of the light they saw in me. We go where the Holy Spirit takes us. Oh, I love Norwalk. It was the most natural thing for me to walk the streets of the city so that I got to understand the lay of the land, and it gave me an opportunity to pay attention to where the gaps were.
Some fruit and vegetables for you.
Many of our community have lost their jobs, and so their basic needs were threatened. And so by providing food through a feeding ministry and provided blessing boxes that gave about 35 to 40 pounds of food that could feed a family of 4 to 5 days for the week, that basic necessity they didn't have to worry about. If we were able to do it just through feeding and making sure people's basic needs were met, then we've done exactly what we were supposed to do. For me, the pandemic has been a blessing. It has been an opportunity for me to get into people's households, to meet people exactly where they are, and be a resource, to really make sure that even though we're isolated from one another, there's a way that we can remain connected. If we can reinstate that connection to the church, it's not about the building, it's about the community. If you can be vaccinated, go and do it. There's still a lot of questions out there, so one of the things that I've been encouraging people to do is to educate themselves so that they can make the best decision for themselves. I have been vaccinated. I have very little symptoms. I think the worst I had was a sore arm.
Our people are in need of food and to be healthy. And I mean,
the reality that I can be an example that every person, especially young women of color, can achieve their goals and sit in seats that have not necessarily been afforded to them, don't necessarily look like them. Just like our new Vice President, Kamala Harris, who's now sitting in the White House. It gives us this level of the glass ceiling is cracked. I still see myself as that little brown girl from the Bronx. And I believe it's because of that that keeps me grounded and connected to the people who I serve.
A woman in Jersey just had the happiest of birthdays. Tamara Willis was celebrating her special day when she heard that she'd be getting a kidney. Tamara's been on dialysis, looking desperately for her perfect match. Turns out one was a lot closer than she realized. Her nephew Amelia.
It's not easy to just go out and ask to somebody to give you a kidney.
Feels good to help my aunt because I told her that if all the tests are positive, I can donate her my kidney.
Their surgery was actually this past Wednesday, so we can't wait to hear the results. Now, a surprise caught on cam when two little girls from Claremont were reunited with their mother. Riley and Skylar's mom is in the New Jersey National Guard, and she's been stationed overseas since June. When she came up to their school last week, the girls couldn't contain their excitement.
Look who's here.
And best of all, it was also Skylar's birthday. That has to be the best gift in the world. You'll find even more heartwarming videos just like that one on our Instagram. Just look for your local News 12 and give them a follow.